Views on the no-fly list.
Hold on. Who am I debating? Can I see?
Chris K. I mean, I don't know if you can see me or not.
Yeah, I can see you. How do you invite people to watch?
You can't. They'll see it eventually.
Oh shit! All right, so what's up?
What are your views on the no-fly list?
What do you mean?
You fake Chris first, real quick. I guess you're the fake one, right?
Who, me?
I thought that was the other guy with my glasses on. Now this tall guy, he says I'm a drama starter, but apparently he's all about her. But what are your views on the no-fly list? Let's have a real debate here, not a discussion.
Right. Well, what part of it? I mean, what are you asking me?
Why aren't you recording it?
Oh shit! I probably accidentally hit decline. Okay, so what are we debating right now?
The no-fly list.
I mean, what do you want to know?
Well, I mean, you got to pick a side, right?
My side. I mean, in what? I mean, I know what it is. I'm saying, like, in what respect? Like, their
Well, I
ability to
mean,
buy guns.
are you? Well, I don't get. Yeah, I guess so. Or what is your point on the no-fly list? Do you support it? You against it? What?
I'm for it, and I think that people who are on the no-fly list should be banned from buying guns and should probably go to jail.
All right, let me ask you this: how do you get on the no-fly list?
The CIA, the CIA determines that you are a threat to national security.
So, would you say you have to do something and to be a threat to enter the no-fly list?
No,
So, why do you support a list that anybody can go on?
because I'm not on that list. No one I know is on that list.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Okay, no one you know's on the no-fly list, but how do you know that?
Because most of the people that I know own firearms and are able to get on planes.
Well, I mean, like I said, if you are on the no-fly list, you can get on planes. But why do you support something that takes basically the right between how do I say this? I can't believe I forgot it, but you have to be proven wrong before innocent. I guess you can't just be like, oh, they're
Innocent
wrong. Let's take proven
innocent
before
proven
guilty.
guilty.
There we go. You have to do that before you can go to jail, right? But this
Yeah.
list basically says, well, I'm going to cut down your amendments and have this because you have the same name as someone on the no-fly list or someone that has someone that has the same name as you. You can't go buy a gun or whatever how you want to see it.
All right.
So how is that right?
The way I see it, if your brother or sister, mother, or father or grandfather, I don't give a shit, anyone related to you, decides that it would be a good idea to go blow up a building and kill 30 people, I don't think anyone in your family should be allowed to own a gun at the moment until you are thoroughly investigated.
Until you are thoroughly, but I mean, Florida shooting already proves how the investigations are flawed.
Yeah, investigations are flawed, but that's better than anyone just getting a gun.
He still got a gun, so I don't get what you mean.
No. In my world, that's not how it would work.
In your world, that's not how it works. But in your world, I could say something on the internet and be put on the no-fly list.
If you post on the internet, I'm going to go blow up a building or fly a plane into a building, then yeah, you're going to be investigated because you can't.
Okay, but what if someone stole your account and et cetera, et cetera? If you have enough evidence to prove someone's a terrorist,
then you have nothing to hide.
Then why don't you take them to court?
Then if you're innocent, then you have nothing to hide. If someone hijacked your Twitter, that never
That's
happened.
like saying if your mother does drugs, well, no one in your house should buy guns because your mother is addicted to drugs.
I mean, that's a good point. If you have a drug addict in your household, owning a firearm should be
so you're saying
harder
that
to obtain.
So you shouldn't own it because
No,
your
that's
mother
not what I'm
smokes
saying.
weed.
That weed and heroin and cocaine are two different things.
I mean, even weed's a drug, so if you're smoking weed and you're addicted to it, you can't buy a gun.
That I don't consider weed to be the same level as any other drug.
And some people don't see heroin to be equivalent as some other drug either. You can't just go and pick out what's right and wrong. As of right now, it's illegal, isn't it?
Marijuana is not legal all over the United States.
All over. Do you live in Colorado?
I do not.
Then it is legal. And there's many other states, but you live in a state that it is legal.
Unfortunately, no.
So then, therefore, it's illegal. Just like I like my guns, I have to put a bullet button because I live in California. I'm in Texas right now. I can go to Texas with my gun and remove the bullet button. But as I go to Texas, it is legal. So you got to follow the state laws. Now, if your mother's smoking marijuana, then you can't buy a gun basically because you believe that she's addicted to drugs
That's
and no
not
one in
what
the
I believe.
household. But you do it for the no-fly list.
The no-fly list is completely different. I don't think you know what the no-fly list is.
I know what the no-fly list, but you just said if your mother's a terrorist, then no one in your family should own a gun.
Not at the moment, no. Not until you're investigated.
Investigated. And let me ask you this: what do the investigations do? As we've seen in Florida shooting, it doesn't work out right.
Well, what about the thousands of investigations that have worked out right?
Name one.
I can't name an investigation that went through on the top of my head because I don't look at
Well, I
good
can name many
investigations.
where the no-fly list actually puts 4-year-olds, 2-year-olds, infants,
Yeah, I
et
don't
cetera, et cetera,
necessarily
et cetera.
disagree with that. If your father was a terrorist and your mother is raising you in radical Islam, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be allowed to own a gun until you've proven that you aren't going to follow their same path. That's just common sense to me.
And how do you get off the no-fly list? Let me ask you that.
How do you currently get off of it?
Mm-hmm.
There are several. I mean, you can. It's hard to get off.
No one knows.
Well, yeah, the people do know because people have gotten
There's
off
no
of it.
confirmed way to actually get off of it. There's none.
You have to. It's not confirmed, but you have to submit yourself to have several different background checks and psychiatric evaluations and things like that.
You'd have to have several background checks of the same thing because there's only one background check that works.
No, there are different forms of background checks completely.
There's actually not, but okay.
Are
you talking about when buying guns?
Well, not just buying guns. They want to know who your family are, who you've talked to in the last 30 days, who you've talked to in the last year, who you know that doesn't live in the country, things like that. There are completely different background checks.
So,
for instance, if you are having a Facebook chat with Mohammed Allahu Akbar in Iran, then they probably aren't going to pass you on your background check there.
Then why do neither of you read fucking comments? I need to go to bed. Oh, Tall, I mean, I called you out many times for a debate. You failed to do it, so don't even talk here. Now, back to this.
I do want to see you two debate before I go to sleep. Y'all two have to debate. You and Co6212 have to debate.
I came in at a time where he's like something about Afghanistan, and he's seen stuff that he can't say because CIA. That's the time I came in. I say that's complete bullshit. So, but the no-fly list. So you support something that just makes people guilty by that without court or anything?
I don't think that I don't think terrorists have court rights. I don't think terrorists are, I don't think terrorists should be treated as citizens. They're not.
They're not citizens. Well, let me ask you this. How do you know a terrorist until he commits the terrorist act?
No. Wrong. Terrorists are not people who only commit terror. There are terrorists who have never killed anyone. There are cyber terrorists.
Yes, but how do you know a terrorist if he's never committed an act?
If he actively participates in jihad.
Just because he's in jihad doesn't mean he's a terrorist.
If he's a member,
there could be someone in America who's never even known jihad, and he goes out and killing people. He can be a terrorist as well.
That's like
he doesn't
saying
have to be a jihad to be a terrorist.
That's like saying people that are in the KKK aren't racist. Not all people are racist. That's exactly.
So you're saying the only way you can be a terrorist is if you're a jihad? No, a normal person like you can be a terrorist.
That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that if you actively are a member of an organization that wishes to bring social anarchy,
but how do you know that?
What do you mean? How do I know that?
How are you going to know this person's doing these acts of
by going through their shit? Our government has this thing called the Patriot Act. Our government can't
just go through someone's stuff.
Do you know what the Patriot Act is?
Are you talking about the internet? That's their stuff? That's not their stuff.
It's called the NSA. They're allowed to do any kind of. Trust me, if the government.
So the internet, the Wi-Fi is their stuff.
Yeah,
their stuff means like their house.
the government can access anything you have within 5 minutes. You do realize that, right?
For the internet, but not their stuff.
What? I mean, if the government thought of you as that big of a threat, they would find out who the fuck you were and
Okay,
come
let
to
me
your
ask
house.
you this: Why don't they go to court?
Who? What are you talking about?
If they have so much evidence for a terrorist, why don't they go to court?
They don't. They fucking arrest them. They probably go
They
after
arrest
them.
them, then why is there a no-fly list? If you're on a no-fly list, why don't you take them to
See,
court?
this comes back to I don't think you know what the no-fly list actually is.
I don't know what it is, but there's
No.
4-year-olds on it, right?
Yeah, they're okay. Here's what the no-fly list actually is. The no-fly list
Yeah,
is a list.
I mean, it's this list that we want to put terrorist people on a no-fly list.
It's not
You
just for
just said that
terrorists.
terrorist people or the watch list or whatever
It's not
shouldn't
just
have
for
moral
terrorists.
rights and stuff. So why are you letting them walk the streets? If you have so much evidence to put them on a terrorist watch list as the no-fly list, then you should bring them to court.
That's the whole point. Not everyone on the no-fly list is a terrorist. There are people on the no-fly list who are people who illegally,
Basically, people that are going to cause harm.
yeah, but in different ways. Such people that come into the country illegally and board planes illegally are on the no-fly list.
Mm-hmm. And people with the same name as a terrorist are on the no-fly list.
If they're in the
People
same
who is
family.
related to a terrorist are on the
Yes.
no-fly list. People who have had a conversation that
That's
didn't
not
have to do
unreasonable.
anything with about terrorist acts are on the no-fly list. There's many ways to get on the no-fly list, as we can see.
You're
but
right.
There's slim ways to get off of it. That's fraudulent.
Do you know how many people? Do you know how many people?
I've seen you do drugs. You must be a drug dealer. I mean, a drug addict. Oh, let me go report you to this and that. I could probably call FBI, report you for terrorist acts, and you'd go on it until you've been investigated by the FBI.
That's bullshit. No, you couldn't. That's not true at
Pretty
all.
sure that's not bullshit.
That is 100% bullshit. You could not call the FBI and say this guy should go on the fucking terror watch list, and they're going to put me on the terror.
That's how it works.
That's not how it works
at all.
That's how
some laws work here.
Okay, well, that's not how it works anywhere else in the world. How it works is
in the world. You sure about that?
Yeah, they have people that aren't United States citizens that don't live in America on the terror watch list. You realize that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Anyone with a name is on the terrorist watch list. I hope you know that, right? So if a guy committed the act with your name, you are now on the list.
I don't think that's accurate, but I'll take your word for it.
Are you positive? I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
I'm not positive, so
how
I'm
do people with the same names go on the no-fly list?
Okay, my last name. Let's say my last name was Johnson. If someone named Johnson went and killed up 500 people, I'm not going on the terror watch list. I don't think that's how that works.
They had your full name. Yes, you are. Let's say your first name's Eric Johnson. Eric Johnson is now on the no-fly list.
Yeah, but okay. First of all, that there are different levels of the terror watch list. Just because someone had the name Eric Johnson and they went and killed people does not mean you can't get on a plane.
If you have so much evidence to put them on a watch list or whatever, why don't you take them to court for whatever evidence you have? Because there is none.
They don't have. They're the government. They don't have to take you to court.
You can't take someone to court for something they've said. You can't do that at all.
Take out court out of the entire conversation. The government doesn't have to. The government doesn't have to take you to court. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They're the government.
They have to go to the court.
No, they don't. No, they don't. What? The government doesn't have to do shit. They do whatever they want. They're the government. What my whole point is, let me get this to this point, because I don't think you're getting this point. The terror watch list is a branch, and it's an extension of the government to get intel on suspected terrorists and suspected people.
I don't think you know what the no-fly list and terrorist watch list are. And I don't think you know how to get on the no-fly list, and I don't think you know how to get off of the no-fly list.
I do know. No, the no-fly list is completely different from the terror watch list.
Basically, almost the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah,
the no-fly list are people who have had problems on flights and have had problems in
the no-fly list. As, like I said, 4-year-olds go to buy a flight. They've never done anything in their life, and boom, they're on the list and they can't go on the flight.
Can you show me an example?
Someone was trying to go to Canada and the U.S. I can't give any names. You can look up the story. The kid's 4 years old. The parents aren't on the no-fly list, but the kid is. They went to go get their ticket, and that's many instances where this has happened. You can look them all up. They don't even know they're on the list. No one even knows if they're on the list until they try to fly.
You're gonna find the common theme. I'm gonna follow you, and I want you to follow me because we're probably gonna debate in the future. But you're gonna find the common theme with me, and I don't give a shit about like one guy who's on the terror watch list who can't fly to Canada. I don't give a shit about it.
Okay, well that's not. You said name one. There's many of those.
But it's no one I know. Like, I could care less.
The people in Florida, you don't care because you didn't know them?
No, I don't care because I don't care about people who have no impact on my life. I could give a shit.
So the gays that died in Florida, you don't care about them?
In Orlando?
Yeah.
Oh, we had this. I mean, do I wish it wouldn't have happened? Yes, I wish it would not
But
have
you don't.
happened.
You just said that you don't care about anything that people you don't know.
I want to care, but in 4 or 5 days, I'll forget all about it. So I would like to care, but I don't think I'm allowed to.
Brandon, shut the fuck up now. I mean, that's just retarded.
What?
What state do you live in?
Hold on. I live in North Carolina.
So if a shooting happened with your mom, that's the only time you're actually going to care.
That is completely different. That is so different.
I'm asking you a question, but okay.
All right, I'm going to answer your question. So, if my mother was involved in the Orlando shooting, obviously I would give more of a shit because it had something to do with me.
Exactly, but the thing is the fact that you just don't care about it. Like you just don't care because it's none of the people you knew.
That's the exact point. It has no impact on my life. I'm going to forget about it. I'm not going to care. You shouldn't either. I mean, we should care.
So basically, if it doesn't happen to any of your family or it's not going to impact your life, you should not care at all.
You should try to care, but the cold hard truth is, if it doesn't impact you, you can put hashtag pray for Orlando on your Twitter page all you want, but that doesn't mean you actually give a shit.
I mean, obviously you did when you posted that status.
No, a Twitter status does not mean that you care about something. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean that's very ignorant, I guess you could say, but carry on.
I mean,
no-fly list.
Millions of people probably agree with me. But
what is that? Millions? You're the first person I've ever heard say that.
They're just not honest enough to tell you that.
They're not honest because they have respect and they actually do care about it.
Nah, I disagree. But it's whatever. I'm not going to call you ignorant. I'm not big on disrespecting people. But
yeah, I could care less. I know I'm not ignorant on the topic.
I guess that's just your point of view.
Obama cares.
So, to sum this up, I would have to probably do more research, but in the general consensus of things, I'm probably not against much of the fucking terror watch list and no-fly zone.
Yeah, maybe you should look it up.
Probably should. You're probably right.